Welcome to Hoi An on Vietnam's central coast. The vibe here, like the nearby Pacific beaches, is as peaceful as it gets. Hoi An's ambiance draws from its centuries as a prominent crossroads for traders from Europe, China, India, and Japan. There are really two Hoi Ans. There's the overall municipal district that includes about 120,000 people. And there's the old city at its core, a World Heritage Site, which serves as a magnet for the visitors who pour in here. One of the things I really like about this place is that despite the crowds that it draws, it's easy to get away from the herd here, because the old quarter of Hoi An is filled with little residential quasi-business alleyways where life really is as it is here for the people who aren't filling the shops, selling to tourists. You can walk through areas that are filled with people's homes right up on the alleyways. Hear soft music coming from those homes, the clink of silverware, and of course, the next minute, you're amid little hideaway eateries that are off the beaten path. I'm here in Hoi An's bustling central market, which if you're a cook, a chef, or just love food, this would be the place to come. The aromas here from the various spices immediately speak to my nostrils, because it's almost like sitting down for a Vietnamese meal. You get those scents that you recognize, very pleasurable ones I might add, and you see all the ingredients here that are responsible for those scents. Lots of things wrapped in banana leaf. I don't know why, but it seems like everything I eat that's wrapped in banana leaf is good, no matter the country or the cuisine. You always know that you're in a food-friendly climate when you sit down at breakfast, and in addition to coffee, as they did this morning at my breakfast restaurant where I ate, offered me a choice of 4 different kinds of juices. And of course, I'm a sucker for fresh pineapple juice when it's available. And oh my, is it ever available here. Just waiting to see when this guy is actually going to consider his load full, but I think he's waiting for another bag. Nighttime is when Hoi An comes to life, and especially on this night, which happens to be a night of a full moon, and when there is a lantern festival here. There are lanterns here all the time, anytime you come here. But once a month, around the full moon, there is a lantern festival. And of course, I'm here on that occasion. The people, of course, doing as they normally do, teeming along the busy streets that are turned into wide sidewalks. But the attention is turned to the river and to the boats with their lighted lanterns. In Vietnamese culture, to light a lantern is to hope for love and good health. And to light a lantern on water is the expression of wanting that love and good health to extend to others. So as a result, tradition here is on the night of the full moon, boats go into the water with these lit lanterns, these beautiful lanterns. There's religious significance to that relates to Buddhism. It goes back centuries. For it is suggested that the Buddha was born on the night of a full moon and that he received enlightenment on such a night. And so full moons here, as in other places in Southeast Asia, are important occasions.
Cầm nước lên, cầm nước cái chai lên, cầm nước mở đi. Đó. Hello, you buy cái nước.
Of course, there's an element of commercialism, as one might expect, selling little emblematic lanterns on the bridge, not to be floated, but to be lit and left beside the water. Maybe you can tell it's, of course, a traditional music performance where the crowd is involved, tapping along on a flat board after being handed little tapping sticks with flags on top by the moderators of the program. It almost appears like a competition of some sort, but I think it's just a way for the audience to become involved in the music as the singers at one end take turns singing various traditional songs. I'm in the heart of the old city, filled with Vietnamese as well as Chinese, Japanese, and Portuguese architecture that reflect Hoi An's cultural makeup at various times from the 1500s to the 1800s. But it was, believe it or not, Southeast Asia's most important trading port. Here's an example of what I'm talking about, the so-called Japanese bridge that dates to 1593. In which has become a kind of unofficial symbol of Hoi An. This bridge was built by Japanese merchants who came here in the late 1500s and settled on one side of a small waterway. They built the bridge to connect it with the mostly Chinese population on the other side. It was rebuilt in the early 1800s and again a couple of other times afterward. Not long after the bridge was built, a Taoist temple was added with an entrance on the bridge itself, something that's unique among historic Asian temples. The temple is dedicated to the Taoist deity Tran Vu, revered as a great magician who could control the weather. There's still an annual festival in his honor here. The Portuguese and the Japanese had their day in Hoi An. The Japanese sailed the waters between Japan and Hoi An for much of the 1600s on red seal ships, so-called, like the model one behind me. Walking these calm streets, it's hard to imagine this place as a one-time leading seaport. That role slipped away a little more than 200 years ago as the nearby city of Da Nang ascended. The shift was partly political, but mostly environmental. Hoi An's major trading role faded after the Thu Bon River, which empties into the South China Sea near here, began silting up. Ironically, that turned out to be a good thing for today's Hoi An. That's because the town became a backwater, so to speak, and was practically forgotten about. And as a result, it was more or less left alone, with its historic bones intact, just waiting to be rediscovered and reinvigorated, which didn't really happen until the 1990s. I've decided to try at this beautiful restaurant Hoi An's signature dish, which is cao lao, consisting of rice noodles, meat, greens, bean sprouts, and herbs. And it's most commonly served with not a lot, but just enough broth. Very distinctive. This is the home of cao lao, that is Hoi An. And I must confess, I had it once already on the street from a vendor. It was absolutely delicious. And now I'm trying it at this restaurant called Duo Plus, which in Vietnamese, duo means coconut. And I'll mention something more about the restaurant in a moment, but I'm eager to show you this food and how it's eaten. I've actually got 2 plates, one with the basic cao lao ingredients and the others with the herbs and it looks like some bok choy, some lettuce, and some other things. But as with many Vietnamese dishes, you don't eat them separately. You put the greens in with the rest of the meal. Now it's ready to eat, so I'm going to try it. That is so good. I get a bigger piece of the meat here. You know, as I said, I had the dish already on the street at a vendor's pavilion. The food there was excellent. But this cao lao is over the top good. So as it turns out, this restaurant, which has delicious food right away, happens to be run by 3 sisters. And here they are. This is Yuan, who's the chef, of course.
Cao lao.
Yeah. And Lin, who served me my food, and Yen, her younger sister. How did you come to work together in a business like this? Did that happen by plan?
Yes.
Yeah? Is Yuan a good person to work with?
Yes.
No nasty secrets here. These girls are close, but it's actually a wonderful restaurant, and the pleasure was additional because of these three.
The allure of Hoi An is no secret. There's still a carefree quality about Hoi An that you sense as you walk the streets here. It feels safe and secure day or night, and there's always something to see or do, or something good to eat within a unique and historic atmosphere. The worry these days is that the place has become a victim of its own success. Although the pandemic provided a timeout, more and more tourists have made Hoi An a stop on their visits to Vietnam at a rate that's probably already unsustainable.